Your morning is off to a good start. 3+U, as you know, is a show all designed to focus and support and celebrate what happens in our community. Usually you think about that as being the people in our community, but this morning we're talking about a little tiny fish in our community and how you can help to keep on saving it. Allison Pryor, did you just hear her giggle? She's here.
I did.
With the Tennessee Aquarium. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Julie.
So you sat in my office earlier and you said, okay, here's the deal. It's a fish called a Laurel Dace.
Laurel Dace,
okay.
Yes, that's a type of minnow. So you already alluded to the fact that it's a little fish. It's just a couple of inches long, but it can get brightly colored. Look at the little mock-up there of the red belly, especially during spawning season. And so this is a critically endangered fish. For the entire world, it is only found right here up on Walden Ridge.
You're kidding.
Just north of Chattanooga. So originally in 8 streams, this is now down to only 2 streams outside of Spring City. And so our scientists at the Conservation Institute have been monitoring this fish for years. But this past summer, remember how dry it was? We were at those extreme drought levels. Those 2 streams started to dry up. So they basically became disconnected pools of water, and it was no longer viable for that fish. So working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and additional partners, our scientists went up there and rescued the fish population, as many as they could get, brought them back to the Conservation Institute.
Wow.
So took care of them during the winter time, checked on their health, fed them, started to do some different testing. And then as the rain has returned to our area, we were able to reintroduce a large portion of that population back into one of those streams just a few weeks ago. So they're back to their native river, which we love to hear.
Yeah.
But we did keep some at the Conservation Institute for the potential if something else does catastrophic happen.
Right.
We may have to form an ark population to make sure, think about Noah's Ark, that this fish doesn't go extinct. And so for the first time, we're doing a fundraiser for this little fish.
Okay, so I love it. It's called Race for the Laurel Dace.
Yes.
And you're doing it up in Spring City since that's where the fish lives. So when you have the monies raised from this race, will it go towards these conservation efforts?
Absolutely. So it's going to be going to the Tennessee Aquarium Conservation Institute for our staff, for the genetic testing that needs to be going on for that ark population. One of those streams, the fish also had a parasite, so doing research into what that parasite is and just the general care and monitoring that it's going to take as far as keeping track of the fish, monitoring those streams and those water levels in the seasons to come.
Okay, I want to try to get a bunch of questions into you in one point. So a question, you mentioned that it had been in 8 streams, then down to 2. Were those 8 streams always in our geographical area?
Yes, exactly. So through previous droughts, through land use changes, those streams just no longer became viable habitats. So through the years, they've now lost that. And so it's just been in 2. So part of what's potentially for the future is going to be looking at, is there any way to return the population? Is one of those streams going to become a good habitat again?
So are they, the fact that it's so like hyper specific, sometimes you'll hear about things that are unique in Tennessee, but to be in Spring City is hyper focused. So what feeds on it? Like what is it critically needed for, the minnow? What eats it?
Right. So that's part of what we're going to be researching is the whole ecosystem. We don't know, exactly what would happen if it did go extinct, but we also don't want to find out either. You don't want to lose something that was native here, born here, that's from here. We want to be able to take care of that, but that's going to be part of those studies in the future too.
That's the coolest thing. It's like that. What's the story you hear as a child about going back in time in the time machine and the guide tells you don't step off the path and somebody steps on the butterfly and they come back and it's the whole different world?
Yeah,
little tiny things matter.
It is that butterfly effect, and you don't want to find out what would happen, and that's our goal, is to save the Laurel Dace and so that it can continue to live, it can continue to be in these streams. And I think a lot of times people think about, oh, let me save a big animal that's in a different continent, but this is something that's in our own backyard. And so we have a fun day planned. It's May 17th.
It's not just the race.
Right.
There's also some music and some vendors and the whole thing.
Yes. So we have up at Spring City Nature Park, which is a beautiful park. That's where the Race for the Laurel Dace is going to be happening. You can sign up for the 5K if you're a runner and you want to do that. I am not. We also have a family fun run too, which also can be a walk. So that's the more casual event. You can even sign up if you want it to be a virtual runner, or if you just want to attend. We're going to have a farmer's market. There's going to be other craftsmen, vendors that are there, live music. So it's going to be all morning long at the nature park, even into the early afternoon from about 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to have festivities there. And so we would just love for people to come out and cheer on and love on the Laurel Dace.
Well, and let me say this real quickly if I have time. So you were mentioning the conservation efforts, the arc that you might end up needing to create, and the dollars that you're going to put into this because it's the mission of the aquarium. Who was the gentleman who you brought my way not long ago who had made the film
about
dolphins? Yeah,
Tim Gears.
And he and I had a conversation off camera with Allison, and this is a man whose whole world is water, and he's traveled the world to talk about it, and he could not quit talking about our aquarium and the power of it. So we've got to do everything we can to support the efforts there.
We do, and I think we really want to focus on the fact that it is right here in our backyard, in our community. The people in Spring City have been amazing. Nokian Tires is a local sponsor for this event, and so I think the more people we can get from North Georgia, from the Chattanooga area to also get behind this, that's just amazing work. And again, to be able to save something that's critically endangered, top 10 endangered fish in North America. I mean, that's how bad that it is. It's a huge step.
Well, I can't imagine what it looked like to go into those drying up streams to rescue those little fish, but it'll be fun to put them back out. Or that you got to put them back out. We got to put them back out,
yeah.
So it's the race for the Laurel Dace. May 17th is the date. The fun begins 8 o'clock in the morning up there at the Nature Park in Spring City. You go to the aquarium's website, whether you want to register for the race, make a donation, you name it, tnaqua.org is always the place. Thank you, Allison.
If your yard looks like this, it's time to call Blewett Septic. Blewett Septic, where our integrity, punctuality, and craftsmanship make sure the job's done right. We're family owned with a tradition of excellence.